happier, and we took him out. That was a big thing because he was the head. It might have been a much different story. They may have been much more capable than they are had he lived, because he was capable. He was vicious, violent, and capable. But we got rid of him first term. And we did so many things. I mean, we've done so many things. But as you know, on Saturday, I traveled to Dover Air Force Base to be with the families of 6 fallen warriors as they returned to American soil. And I know that everyone in this room joins me in sending our prayers and eternal gratitude to the families of those great heroes. Those families.
President Trump speaking right now. He's also supposed to be holding a scheduled news conference at 4:30. So we're going to go back to that when he starts that news conference with new information. We're waiting to hear what he will be addressing, and we'll take you to that as soon as it gets started.
All right, now let's take you outside.
Look at
Take a breather and look at this gorgeous weather.
Isn't it pretty? And I feel like I'm having like hallucinations. Is that who I think it is?
You didn't oversleep.
Wait a minute.
This is not 6 a.m.
Yeah,
it's 4 p.m.
What the heck?
I realized what I did. I realized what I did, you guys. I set my clock ahead 12 hours.
Oh, that explains why you're here.
This is 4 p.m. now?
That's
true. Man. Hey, I'm glad to be with you here,
Good to see
especially
you.
on a day like today. We broke the record, you guys. High temperature. The previous record was 69. Kiss that thing goodbye. 72 now at O'Hare. South-southwest winds at 14 miles per hour means we've driven that warmth all the way to the lakefront. This isn't one of these days where it's 48 at the lakefront and in the 70s everywhere else. 74 Joliet, 71 Woodstock, 73 at Maryville, Michigan City, 70 degrees. But all good things must come to an end. This is the outlook for severe thunderstorms tomorrow, and that covers all of Chicagoland with the highest risk, a level 3 out of 5, roughly along and south of 88 in the Eisenhower. We'll kind of delineate when those storms are going to hit in just a couple minutes. Back to you both.
All right, Cap, thank you. An emergency is declared about CTA crime.
A local group is calling for more safety measures on the CTA. Joni is live on the south side where there was a shooting recently. Joni?
Sylvia, Terrence, the K-9 unit and transit police have been patrolling in this area around 79th Street because yesterday there was a shooting at the 79th Street Red Line station. Today, violence interrupters are going to be out here to talk to CTA riders about safety. That shooting happened early Sunday morning. Police say there was an altercation that involved several people and it escalated to gun violence. 2 men in their 20s were shot and seriously injured. 3 males were taken into custody and 2 weapons were recovered. This is the kind of incident that riders are concerned about on the CTA, especially the Red Line, which runs 24 hours. There were those recent horrific incidents when a woman was set on fire, a man was fatally stabbed on the Blue Line. The Federal Transit Administration is holding the CTA accountable now, giving the agency until March 19th to come up with a safety plan or lose $50 million in funding. Until then, the group Violence Interrupters is riding trains to help keep customers safe. Executive Director Tio Hardeman says his volunteers are trained to de-escalate situations before they become violent. So today, he will be out here to hold what he is calling an emergency news conference. The group's been trying to meet with CTA to offer their services to make riders' safety safer. They're going to be out here to unveil their own safety plan. Reporting live on the south side, Joni Lum, Fox Chicago.
There's a home invasion case in Winnetka police are looking into right now. It all went down last night over by Rosewood Avenue. Here's how it started. Police say one of the suspects acted like a food delivery driver, and then the whole crew pushed inside. Once they were in, the victim got held at gunpoint. The suspects were after something specific, but the victim managed to get away and call for help. The group took off in a black SUV with no license plate. If you know anything, Winnetka police would love to hear from you.
Some residents in Rogers Park are raising concerns after a disturbing display was spotted on a neighborhood Little Free Library.
Yeah, someone hung a little figure from a noose outside the book box near Morse and Wolcott. Leslie Moreno is out there in the neighborhood hearing what people have to say. Leslie?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, take a look. A doll was hanging from this neighborhood library here. Residents we spoke with say it's deeply disturbing, especially because a lot of children come here. Residents in Rogers Park are feeling concerned After spotting what appears to be a small doll wrapped in a black cloth. It can be seen hanging from a rope tied to a noose on a Little Free Library here near Morse in Walcott. The image started circulating on a local neighborhood Facebook page. Some online question whether it could be some kind of decoration or art piece, while others say the imagery appears to be witchcraft, voodoo, or even something more sinister.
So I was, one, shocked. I would say two, kind of appalled, because I wouldn't expect it, right? If something like that's in one of our reading boxes, I'm assuming it's from someone in the neighborhood. I mean, I'm going to hope that it was just somebody playing a foolish joke and didn't realize what it could possibly mean, but the reality is that that's not always the case. So yeah, when I see a black doll with a noose around it, I immediately think it's something that's racist. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me.
We did reach out to Alderwoman Haddon from the 49th Ward for comment on the matter. She said, quote, "Our office is deeply disturbed by this. We categorically condemn this incident and remain committed to fostering an inclusive and diverse community, one that Rogers Park has always been for. This time, it's unclear who placed them there or what the intention behind it may have been." Alderwoman Haddon says it has been reported to the police. We will have much more on this coming up at 5. We'll toss it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Leslie. Well, now 24 days into the government shutdown, a bill that could refund the Department of Homeland Security remains stalled on Capitol Hill. Despite gathering this afternoon, the Senate did not take a vote. And the impact now being felt at airports. Over the weekend, security lines stretched back 2 to 3 hours in cities like Houston and New Orleans. Roughly 50,000 TSA agents are now working without pay and facing their second missed paycheck.
They need to get it fixed. This is not acceptable.
We came like 2.5 hours earlier, but I think we should have gotten here perhaps 5 hours. At this rate, we just literally made it back into the building, and this is crazy.
DHS is blaming the disruptions on Democrats. They're still refusing to budge, that is, on a funding resolution until major reforms are made centered on immigration enforcement. But Republicans claim Democrats are playing politics with national security.
We are in a shutdown right now because we have a rogue and reckless organization.
Why aren't we funding the Department of Homeland Security so people can travel freely, so we can have commerce, so people can go? This is a direct shot at the American people.
The Pentagon is preparing to ask Congress for more money as U.S. and Israeli airstrikes continue across Iran.
Plus, the war doesn't look like it's slowing down, especially now that Iran just made the late Supreme Leader's son the next in line. He's 56, and he has been in the mix for this job for a while, even before the strikes last week. From what experts are saying, his biggest focus will be keeping things the same and holding on to power. He's also seen as a hardliner, so experts don't think he'll give in to Israel or the U.S. Another thing, a reminder, the president is supposed to talk.
There was a dark cloud hanging over not only Israel, which was going to get wiped out. You know, if we didn't do that B-2 attack, Israel would have
speaking to the Republican members' issue conference. The national address is scheduled for 4:30. We'll go back to him live for that.
Pretty good proof. All of those missiles that were.
Wall Street flipped to green at the last minute today, and yes, this pair is Hilton and Gloria Steinem ringing the closing bell for International Women's Day. The big shift came after the president told CBS the war is pretty much done sooner than people first thought. And news even made oil prices drop. Crude fell under $93 a barrel. And just last night, oil had jumped to a high we haven't seen since 2022, over $100 a barrel. That's all because of what's going on in Iran. Here's what that means for you when you fill up. AAA says the national average for gas is $3.47. That's 58 cents more than last week. In Illinois, it's even higher, $3.52. Chicago drivers are paying $3.83. The Illinois primary is only a week out, so if you've got a mail-in ballot, get it in quick or your vote could get missed.
That was the message today as several Illinois Democrats got together to warn voters about a new law that could mean thousands of mail-in ballots might not be counted. That's because of some recent postal changes made under the Trump administration. It says ballots may not be postmarked on the very same day they are received by the U.S. Postal Service. And as a result, ballots mailed on time could be postmarked late and rejected.
Do not wait. Mail in your ballot by 5 p.m. tomorrow, exactly 1 week before Election Day. If you are unable to mail your ballot by tomorrow, take it to an official drop box or bring it to an early voting location.
They also advise if you haven't received that mail-in ballot after requesting it, make a plan to either go to a location to vote early or just go in on Election Day to vote. Democrats are calling the new law voter suppression, saying it makes it harder for voters to ensure that their ballots count.
Illinois just made the ABLE program bigger, so more people with disabilities can get support. And that support can cover a lot more than you might think.
It's like modifying my home to make it accessible. Expenses like modifying my car so that I could drive it. Everyday expenses for the necessities I need to be able to live and be out in the world. Big, little, small expenses. Things that insurance doesn't cover.
We heard from the Illinois treasurer today who says ABLE accounts work kind of like college savings. If you have a disability, you can put in money, it grows, and you use it for big or small expenses. Before ABLE accounts, saving over $2,000 could mean losing Medicaid or SSI, two programs many people count on for health care and basic living expenses. ABLE accounts let people with disabilities save and spend on things like medical bills, school, or housing without that risk.
Parents who had to tell their children's employer, don't give my kid a raise. I've talked to parents who talked with their financial advisors and saying, don't name your child in your will. We created a system that put parents in horrible positions. But now we have a solution that allows them to do more long-term planning and to truly set their kids up for a better life experience.
Before, if you became disabled before the age of 27, you could join. Now it is open to anyone who became disabled before the age of 47. That means another 250,000 people in Illinois are eligible. To see if you qualify or to apply, you can go to fox32chicago.com.
Mark your calendars. The Obama Presidential Center in Jackson Park is scheduled to open to the public on Juneteenth. Opening weekend tickets will go on sale in May. The center houses a museum, playground, spaces for public programming, and a branch of the Chicago Public Library. It's estimated that 700,000 people will be visiting this site every year.
From Michigan to Texas, deadly tornadoes with some clocking winds up to 150 miles per hour.
And now there's word the Chicago area will be dealing with its own severe weather tomorrow. Mike Kaplan will be joining us.
A family is suing Valparaiso schools after a teen is seriously injured at football practice.
In Arlington Heights, but it could all be reconsidered if the Bears come to town.
Welcome back. It's 4:15. Take a look at this. New video of a deadly tornado that hit Michigan on Friday. According to the National Weather Service, winds reached at least 130 miles per hour. And then another twister also hit the state. Winds there 150 miles per hour.
Also, there were at least 18 tornadoes confirmed between Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah, and these stretched from Texas to Michigan, killing at least 8 people.
This is just the start of severe weather season 2, and there's already another round starting up. Some parts of the South are dealing with weather threats today and tomorrow. Mike, we could see some storms here in Chicago.
Yeah, there could be tornadoes nearby. It's hard to say exactly now whether any of that activity will reach Chicagoland. I'm still leaning towards southern portions of the area of having a higher risk of getting an actual tornado tomorrow. Today, it's just so nice. Hard to believe we're going to be dealing with some rough weather tomorrow, but be prepared for it. 72 record-breaking degrees right now at O'Hare. 72 at Midway, 73 at Joliet, Woodstock, 71. You've got 70s in Northwest Indiana as well, 70 at Valpo. Gary, 73, and in Merrillville, US 30. You've got 72 degrees. It is delightful out there. Okay, maybe the only negative is it's a little bit blustery out there. Now, compared with 4 a.m. yesterday, about 10 degrees warmer than it was. Tomorrow, a significant drop in temperatures is on the way, and that's going to impact who can get the strongest storms. Southwest winds pushing the warmth all the way to the lakefront today. We've got a 28-mile-an-hour gust at Aurora, 24 mph at O'Hare, and 31-mile-an-hour wind at Midway. So here's the outlook for severe thunderstorms. And the enhanced risk, level 3 in orange, reaches the city of Chicago. The rest of Chicago, at far north, it's a level 2 risk. So you get the idea that the greater risk is south. And I would not be surprised to see some of the outlooks going a little bit farther south, particularly with regards to the tornado risk. Now, here's our future cast. Tonight, there may actually be a little bit of patchy fog in the area, otherwise mainly clear. But by daybreak tomorrow, you've got cloud cover and a front dropping in from the north, one of these backdoor cold fronts that slides in from the northeast. That is going to really shave temperatures down here, and where that front sets up will dictate who gets the strongest storms. Our model, though, here at 9 o'clock, showing big thunderstorms pretty much area-wide. Some of these have the potential of destructive winds and maybe a tornado. By midnight, the worst of the stuff is moving out of here, and what we'll have left going into Wednesday is just some heavy rainfall. So we've got it all. Possible large hail, damaging winds, tornado, and even heavy rainfall. And believe it or not, I have a little bit of snow in the forecast.
What?
After today?
Just a little bit.
Okay. Wait, do we want him to come back tomorrow? Of course we do. Yes, you are just the messenger. Always good to see you, Mr. Kaplan. Okay, to Airbnb or not to be. Do you like that?
Shakespeare.
The village of Arlington Heights unanimously approving a ban on short-term rentals.
The ordinance is set to start this summer, but you know how things can change around here. Casey Cronus is live in Arlington Heights to explain. Casey?
That's right. And as the future home of the Chicago Bears hangs in the balance, so does this ordinance. Because if the Bears come to Arlington Heights and move into town, these rules will likely be reconsidered. For now, Mayor Jim Tenalia here in Arlington Heights describes this as a temporary hold, something he intends to reevaluate with a task force that can dive into how to best regulate the issue. But under the ordinance, beginning July 1st, short-term rentals will not be allowed unless they are booked for 30 days or longer. The move comes after some neighbors have raised concerns about noise, partying, and a revolving door of tenants at certain rental properties. Mayor Tenalia says it's also a way to maintain the village's character.
One of the things that I think is a valid concern is that when companies get wind of the idea, oh, we can buy up some of the smaller houses, less expensive houses, and turn this into a profit source, a business, opportunity, that removes a lot of attainable or affordable homes from our housing stock.
Those who oppose the ban include residents like Devin Gray, who lives in Arlington Heights and operates just one rental property. His recent guests have included an elderly couple that's renovating their home, a family in town for a karate tournament, and professionals heading to a convention in Rosemont. Gray is urging officials to regulate short-term rentals now instead of imposing an outright ban. He recommends enforcing ordinances like noise, licensing operators, and perhaps even imposing the hotel tax.
There are no boutique hotels in downtown Arlington Heights like you find in Lake Forest. There are no nice chains to stay at. The reality is, if we do see the Bears come to Arlington Heights, as we are hoping, this is a problem that we need to address. If there's a Super Bowl in town or a Big Ten championship in town, people are going to rent out their homes.
Other suburbs have enacted similar bans on short-term rentals, including Hinsdale, Schiller Park, and Glen Ellen, where one Airbnb operator is taking the village to court over the issue. Live in Arlington Heights, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
All right, thanks for that, Casey. Our sports team is tracking the NFL free agency.
When we come back, Tina will be here with a look at the Bears' notable signings and trades.
Message, because I'll always fight for you.
Welcome back. 424. Let the madness begin. The Big Ten tournament starts tomorrow at the United Center. Oregon and Maryland playing the opening game, and Penn State and Northwestern playing the nightcap. Illinois has a bye and won't be playing until Thursday. Tickets still available for tomorrow's game. They start at $41, and this is the 12th time the UC has hosted the Big Ten tournament. The last time was in 2023. So, NFL free agency period started today as well, but the deals will not become official until Wednesday.
Yeah, the Bears got busy. They picked up 3 new players. We got Tina winning here. Tina, the Bears been big on safety. Who did they grab, and what does that mean for Byard and Brisker.
Yeah, always great to join you guys.
Yeah, nice to have you.
Look, we're color coordinating
We are.
a little bit here. It's been a busy day in the
I
NFL.
can
Every
imagine.
team has been making some moves, and for the Bears, they signed today safety Kobe Bryant. He's coming off of a strong season with Seattle. He's joining the Bears 3 years for $40 million. Again, that strong season that saw 4 interceptions, 7 PBUs, 4 tackles for losses in 15 games, just played in the Super Bowl. This is a guy that's going to have an immediate impact on this team, and especially for Dennis Allen. He's a very versatile piece for him. And of course, the next question is, what does this mean for Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker? Well, I've spoken to a few people who believe that Kevin Byard could be playing elsewhere. That's going to hurt Bears fans. He's coming off of a tremendous season here in Chicago. As for Jaquan Brisker, you could see him back here, obviously at strong safety, but for Byard, I imagine with this signing of Bryant, they slot him in there at free safety. So of course, we'll continue to monitor all the moves here.
Okay, so the Bears also added to their defense. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, first off, when we saw that they cut Tremaine Edmonds, that saved them $15 million in cap space. Tremaine Edmonds was their leading tackler. Linebacker, that was going to be a top priority for this team. They added Devin Bush. He's coming over from the Browns, had a really strong season as well. Will be signed for 3 years, $30 million. Breakout season in 2025, one of the top really defensive players, saw career highs in tackles and interceptions. And I mean, come on, this guy was due for a pay raise. Bears also signed former Colts player Neville Gallimore, really a depth piece there, 2 years for $12 million. His one season in Indy really saw a really productive year, and we saw career highs from him when it came to sacks and batted passes. As for the offensive side of the ball, though, this, I imagine, was certainly a huge priority for the Bears. They re-signed quarterback Case Keenum. Again, that veteran presence. We saw the impact that he had on quarterback Caleb Williams. Again, still a very young quarterback here. So, again, a lot of moves will continue to happen, and we'll be monitoring them as well. And of course, you see their linebacker DeMarco Jackson, as well as defensive lineman Daniel Hardy, who's also just a depth piece and a huge special teams contributor as well. So yeah, a lot of movement here happening in the NFL. No offseason.
All right.
A lot of names too.
Let's switch it up a little bit because there's a big game tonight on Fox. Team USA versus Team Mexico.
Yes, and when you look at this Mexico team, this is going to be the best lineup that the U.S. has faced so far. Team USA has been dominant throughout this tournament. You look at the 2 exhibition games, the last 2 games that they've played, they've outscored their opponents 53-11. You had Alex Bregman batting second in this lineup, so that just speaks as to how deep this roster is. But tonight is going to be a huge one because Mexico, Italy, and U.S., they're all tied at 2-0. So whoever wins this game certainly has a step up in the quarterfinal. But Mexico, they're going with a bullpen game, and we're going to be seeing Paul Skeens make his WBC debut. Of course, this one is tonight right here on Fox at 7 p.m. So should be a really good one.
Yeah.
Team USA took down Brazil, took down Great Britain. Mexico is next. You're going bye-bye. Adios. Adios. Speaking of adios, we're going to take a quick break real quick. Come on back.
Let's see what you did there.
There's a family on the south side really going through it today. Their French bulldog's been missing for over 2 weeks now.
The family says their dog was stolen. Tia is here to explain what's happening. Tia.
Well, a lot is happening. They're actually passing out these flyers right now, hoping that someone will notice this cute face right there and return the dog. The French bulldog is now one of the most stolen dog breeds in the United States. The owners of Pico hope the $3,000 reward they are offering will persuade whoever took their 30-pound Frenchie to return him.
They will follow each other. So if Carson, which is my parents' dog, was actually on the street, he had to go through someone's yard. Pico has to be not too far from him, not too far from behind him. So I believe either someone had to pick Pico up in this alley or going through someone's backyard.
So let's break all of this down. This is the gate Ruth Full-Wiley says was left open by her father as he took out the trash here in the 300 block of East 136th Place in Chicago. Full-Wiley was out of town with her husband, Rafael Landa, while family members were dog sitting. They say their 3-year-old French bulldog, Pico, got out of the backyard along with the family's Pomeranian, Carson. The Pomeranian was later found at the end of the block, but Pico was never located. That's why the family believes someone may have taken the 30-pound Frenchie. Ring cameras at the home only capture just part of the yard, and neighbors' cameras didn't store any video. For now, the search continues with flyers going up all across the neighborhood.
Because he's like our child. Like, he's literally with us all the time.
He spends a lot of time. Like, I take him everywhere. I take him to work, when I work all through the day. But this winter, you know, it's kind of got brutal this winter, so I didn't take him out a lot this winter. So they always been close, but that was her partner.
The resale market on these dogs can be anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. So people could steal a French bulldog and easily turn around and sell it for $3,000 or more. If the dog, for some reason, is not neutered or spayed, that dog also they could look at as an opportunity to breed that dog and make more money off of puppies as well.
So that's part of the problem here, perhaps. The dog isn't neuter, which makes him an even more valuable target for thieves looking to sell him. The family, again, is now offering a $3,000 reward for his safe return. Anyone with information can call this number right here on the bottom of your screen, 773-358-8217. And hopefully someone out there, Terrence and Sylvia, knows something, and Pico is reunited with his family.
Yeah, we can hope. Tia, thank you. We need to catch you up on something from Valparaiso. This goes back to last month. Remember that high schooler who got hurt at football practice?
Yeah, well, now his family is suing the school district. Brett Bagansky explains.
I spoke to one of the lawyers who was representing Jason Solomon and his son Malachi, who told me that just days ago the teenager had to go back to the hospital because he's still having symptoms from a concussion he suffered back on February 2nd. The family shared these pictures of Malachi at a hospital in Indianapolis Thursday. They told me he's having trouble sleeping, he has blurred vision, he's even having trouble balancing and standing, and now he's getting nosebleeds. On Thursday, the Solomons and their lawyers with Alvarez Law filed a lawsuit against Valparaiso Community Schools, Valparaiso High School, and the city of Valparaiso. I spoke with Montgomery Finch, who was one of the lawyers on the case. He said it comes down to negligence and liability. Malachi allegedly got knocked down by 2 students during what they called a non-contact football drill, where he suffered not only a broken wrist, but what they're calling a severe concussion after his head hit the ground. The family told me no one from the school contacted them about the injury, and the father found out about this because his son texted him. The family also said coaches downplayed the injuries and said a trip to the hospital wasn't necessary.
It seems like despite what we have been come to see as severe, indications of concussion, like eyes rolling back, things along those lines, there was never a discussion about a concussion. Like I said, it was a no-contact drill, so there was no helmets being worn by the student athletes. So there was an increased danger if someone did fall back onto the concrete or pavement or whatever the floor was. So if the fact that there were signs of concussion from we've been told, and then nothing was followed up on that until the father had independently taken him to the hospital that night, raised his alarm bells.
I reached out to Valparaiso Community Schools to get their side of the story about this lawsuit. And while we're still waiting to hear back, the superintendent told me last month that nobody reported any injury during the practice and that the coach found out about the injury once the practice was over. Brett Bagansky, Fox Chicago.
Okay, anyone trying to see a show, listen up. Live Nation and the Justice Department just squashed their antitrust beef. This deal keeps Live Nation and Ticketmaster together, no breakup. Live Nation will pay about $200 million to states and let other ticket sites on the platform. The terms aren't all public yet, but this ends the legal drama that started in 2024.
One of the so-called fixers in a what am I trying to say? NAA betting scheme.
It gets me all the time.
Yes.
Gets me all the time.
So there's this betting scheme apparently, and one of the fixers has pled guilty to wire fraud and bribery charges. Jalen Smith trained and developed college basketball players for professional scouting combines. Federal prosecutors say Smith helped to fix games by recruiting players with the promise of a big payment in exchange for purposefully underperforming. How about that? So what is it again? I love it.
We'll be right back. I can't get anything else out. Just go to break, and then we're going to show you the traffic map as well, too. Goodbye.
There it is.
All right, now this is a holiday we can get behind. It is National Napping Day. Look at this video from the 90s. And here it's right after daylight saving time, so the timing's perfect. The whole point, to remind us no shame in a good old nappy nap. Okay, now sleep experts say if you're gonna nap, keep it to 15 or 20 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Any longer than a half hour, and you are pushing it.
It's too late to take a nap right now.
No, it's
right?
not. I've taken naps at like 5 o'clock.
And then that doesn't keep you up all night?
No.
You're at work, so where are you sleeping?
Yeah. Thank you,
I mean, on the weekends and stuff. I take naps when I go home, too.
Understood.
Like 7 o'clock.
I'll stay in my lane.
That's hilarious.
To each their own.
If something is bugging you today, get over it.
March 9th is National Get Over It Day, created by a man who was having trouble getting over an ex. So how do you celebrate? Why are you pointing at me? I ain't having trouble getting over nobody.
No, you bugging me.
Okay. Take a moment moment to self-reflect and move on from whatever is weighing you down. Is there anything you guys are ready to simply get over that you can talk about on public display right now?
Oversharing of opinions.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I get sick of that too.
Like if I didn't ask you, why are you telling me?
I don't know that I haven't. I've got some thought now to
something bugging you to get over, like to get over it.
Bugging me other than that I'm not able to take a longer nap than 20 to 45 minutes apparently now, according to that study there. Because I take a longer nap in the afternoon.
But you don't sleep. You take a long nap and then you're up all night long.
I am known as the sentinel at our house. Nothing goes by without me hearing it. So, but I don't know that I want to get over anything.
What about you, Sylvia?
I don't know that I do either.
Ashy ankles, ashy knees, ashy elbows, too strong a perfume or cologne.
Me right now.
All natural deodorant when you know it's not working. Let's just be honest with ourselves. How much time do we have?
Wow.
Oh, they're telling me to move on. They're not, but I'm going to move on because I could get in trouble. Okay, only in Florida can you walk in to buy a car and get a whole concert on the side.
What?
That sounds like Mike Kaplan.
That's Vesti La Juba from Payachi. He's a clown, but he can't express his true feelings of sorrow because he has to be a clown and wear the clothes of a clown.
See, there's the story behind the song. Now, here's the story behind this guy. He is Andrew Ayers. He's actually a classically trained bass baritone, but opera gigs are not so easy to come by. So he started selling cars at this local dealership. He figured it would help him stack some cash so he could move to a city with more singing gigs. Check this out. Now, his singing is actually paying off. His videos are getting millions of views. Now, the funny part is, my man has only sold one car so far. That's okay, because I'm guessing the number is about to go up pretty soon.
After this,
After this, for sure.
Yeah, I forget, you're a big opera guy.
I have never seen an opera in person, but I love opera
we
music.
have the lyric opera, one of the best in the world.
I know, and they've reached out, come and see, come and do it.
You know why? It's because you have to get up so early, right?
That, and when they have the lyric opera of Gurney, I'm there.
Okay, sorry, Gurney, we didn't mean to laugh.
We'll be right back after this.
It's starting the day with hope. Knowing you're in the right place. Having access to advanced treatments and the most experienced cancer experts. When you're facing cancer, it's not just one thing that makes the difference. It's everything. The big, the small, the unexpected, that helps you keep moving forward. Advocate Healthcare. Cancer care that makes the difference.
I'll never back down.
Welcome back now. An update on the Bear Stadium for you. Governor Pritzker wants the Illinois House to take up property tax legislation right after the primary election is over. Last week, a committee approved a mega project bill authorizing the Bears to negotiate a deal with local taxing bodies in Arlington Heights. That same day, Indiana's governor signed legislation that would pave the way for a new stadium in Hammond. The Chicago City Council is considering a new ordinance to better protect voters at polling places during the primary.
And it's named after the late Reverend Jesse Jackson. If the bill passes, this law would help federal immigration agents and keep them away from special zones outside polling places. Those zones will go out an extra 100 feet past the usual campaign-free area. Mayor Johnson says this is all because President Trump said he might send armed forces near polling spots. If the City Council votes yes with at least 2/3, the new rules kick in right away, so they will be ready before the primary even starts.
President Trump is pushing Republicans to pass the Save America Act. The president says he will not sign other bills until this measure reaches his desk. The bill requires all voters to show voter ID and proof of citizenship, banning most mail-in voting and including restrictions on transgender Americans and gender-affirming care for minors. It's important to note if the president does not sign a bill within 10 days of receiving it from Congress, it automatically becomes law if Congress is in session.
All right, let's take a looky-loo, peekaboo outside and see what we got going on. 72 degrees.
Yeah. It's spectacular. Our warmest day since last November 15th, and we broke the record high today. And all of that good news amid what's coming tomorrow. All good things must come to an end. This is why I always say that March is the most fickle month. It giveth and it taketh away. Here's the deal with tomorrow's storms. Severe storms with large hail, damaging straight-line winds and tornadoes are possible, and in many areas, indeed, they're likely. Highest tornado threat, I think, is going to be south of I-80 and maybe even farther south than that. The highest threat for that. Timing, late afternoon into the night, probably somewhere between about 5 and midnight. Let's get to the good stuff first. It is 72 degrees at O'Hare, Midway, the lakefront, even warm there. 70 degrees at Merrillville, 70 at DeKalb. Woodstock, you're looking good. Mostly sunny skies. It is a little bit blustery. We got that southwest wind blowing at a good clip in many areas, more than 20 miles per hour. We got a 31 mph there at Midway. Same speed at Valparaiso. So that's kind of the only complaint today. Take a look at where temperatures are headed, though. This is going to play a key role in storm development and intensity tomorrow. At 11 o'clock, it's 44 at Waukegan, 52 at O'Hare, and still in the mid-60s in the Kankakee River Valley, where I think you're going to get into the 70s tomorrow. Look at this, almost a 30-degree spread at 5 p.m. Where is the greatest energy for storms to form? There, in the warmer and more humid air, and that's the area that I think is most prone to have the strongest thunderstorms and maybe even tornadoes tomorrow. But anywhere in Chicagoland, we need to be weather ready for heavy rainfall, large hail, gusty winds, and even though it's a lower risk, there is still some risk of tornadoes occurring from the city and points north. It will definitely get colder here on Wednesday and maybe even cold enough in the afternoon that as the precipitation ends, could be a couple of wet snowflakes mixed in. This is not a shoveling snowfall on the way. Risk of severe thunderstorms highest in the orange shaded areas, roughly city and points south. There's the delineation, that frontal boundary. Where this sets up will determine, south of that, higher risk of the worst storms. North of that, there can still be thunderstorms, heavy rainfall coming in. And that will continue into Wednesday as well before this thing pulls completely out of here. There you see the snow flying mainly up to our north. So tonight, the only concern I've got for tonight might be a little bit of patchy fog coming in here. Otherwise, partly cloudy, low of 52 degrees. Tomorrow, we get it up to only 58, and that's the average temperature. Remember, I showed you that spread. Watch out, be weather ready in case we get those severe thunderstorms late in the afternoon and into the evening hours. Then it's much cooler here for the next few days. Chance of rain and windy conditions Thursday night and Friday morning. And then some unsettled weather Saturday night and Sunday with a mixture of rain and snow. And don't even look at Monday's high. We'll be right back.
We want to go back to President Trump. He's holding a news conference. Let's go live and listen in.
Midnight hammer, getting rid of the nuclear threat from Iran, which was a big moment in history, in my opinion, and the great success we've had in Venezuela and all other places. Every place we've gone, we've had tremendous success. But while we're doing all of these things, we're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete. We've wiped every single force in Iran out very completely. Most of Iran's naval power has been sunk. It's on the bottom of the sea. It's almost 50 ships. I was just notified it's 51 ships. I didn't know they had that many. Didn't last very long. And these are fighting vessels. They're meant to fight, but they're not meant to fight against us. We continue to target Iran's drone and missile capabilities. Their drones are way down. Their drone manufacturing has been hit starting today. We know all of the places they manufacture the drones, and they're being hit one after another. Their missile capability is down to about 10%, maybe less. We're also hitting where they make missiles and where they deliver missiles. We've struck over 5,000 targets to date, some of them very major targets, and we've left some of the most important targets for later in case we need to do it. If we hit them, it's going to take many years for them to be rebuilt, having to do with electricity production and many other things. So we're not looking to do that if we don't have to. But they're the kind of things that are very easy to hit, but very devastating if they are hit. We are waiting to see what happens before we hit them. We could take them all out in one day, but it's all resulting in a 90% decline in various things, but in particular, Iranian missile launchers and 83% drop in drone launchers. As you know, the drone launchers are pretty well shot, but we're at over 90% decline in the Iranian missile launchers, which is very hard to reproduce and very hard to get. And usually what we were able to do through great equipment, a lot of smart people, as soon as they sent a missile up from a launcher, we were able to knock out that launcher within a period of 5 minutes or less, accurately right on the noggin. So now we have low-cost interceptors effectively combating Iranian drones, and our B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound bombs to destroy missile launchers all over Iran and buried deep under Iranian soil in many cases. The soil was no match. And we're also annihilating the manufacturing base that the regime uses to build drones and missiles at a rate that nobody thought was possible. We're knocking them out. We know where they all are. We're knocking them out very quickly. We're ahead of our initial timeline by a lot. I would say that we probably would not have thought after a month we'd be here. In addition to the fact that we've taken out the leadership twice and maybe 3 times. And we, as you know, we want to be involved. We don't want another president that maybe wouldn't be willing to do what I'm willing to do for the good of the world, for the good of our nation, to be stuck with a situation in 5 years or 10 years from now. So we think they should put a president in, or the head of the country in, that's going to be able to do something peacefully for a change. They've been doing this for 47 years, killing people for 47 years, whether it's the barracks or even the SS Cole where they were involved. Very strongly, they always denied it. But where they were very strongly involved, and all of the people that died through the roadside bombs died and are right now walking around with no legs, no arms, a face that's been so badly damaged. The Iranian regime has been attacking Americans and spreading terror for 47 years, and despite these countless opportunities to renounce their nuclear ambitions, which they had just a short while ago, they told Mr. Witkoff, who is standing right over here, they said, they actually said, we want to keep building. Essentially, in a real nutshell, we want to continue to build nuclear weapons. If we didn't knock out Midnight Hammer, if we didn't knock out their Iranian potential, if we didn't do that with Midnight Hammer, they would have had a nuclear weapon. They would have used it long before now. And at a minimum, Israel would have been annihilated. I was very lucky that we had the courage to do that, that we had the talented pilots and the great equipment. The B-2 bombers are unbelievable. We ordered 25 more, by the way. The newer, better version. It's we have the greatest military in the world. We have the greatest equipment in the world by far. You see that no matter where we go. You still need the people, though, to operate it and to use it. And those are the people that we cherish. Even after we obliterated their key nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer, they never negotiated in good faith. They still continued to say, we want to build nuclear. We want enrichment at levels that were unacceptable. And they even turned down an offer for unlimited free nuclear fuel forever for civilian purposes. We had people offering them free nuclear fuel. They weren't interested in that because they wanted to build a nuclear weapon. So instead, the regime was trying to reconstitute its weapons program at a different site. They couldn't go back to where they were, the 3 sites that we obliterated. But they were starting work at another site, a different kind of a site. And that was protected by granite. They wanted it protected. Granite's pretty good, but they wanted it protected by a lot deeper. They wanted to go a lot deeper, and they started the process.